I'm so excited to be chatting today with Bianca. Bianca and I go back a long way. I've known Bianca for many years, and it's amazing seeing Bianca how she's evolved both in herself, in her career. So, Bianca, tell us how you came to be where you are now. Bianca currently runs our YJP Matchmaking, which has been a journey for her. So, Bianca, tell us a bit about yourself and how you came to be involved in YJP Matchmaking.
Definitely. So I started matchmaking technically 2020 when COVID was happening. But with that as well is I've always been a social person and I've always been bubbly and wanting to get involved with the community. Back when I was growing up in Perth, before I moved here in 2018, I actually did a Jewish community events there that we would get young singles together a bit. But when I moved to Melbourne, I would come to Shabbos dinners, come to events, and I would meet with Dina and I'd meet with a whole bunch of people, and everyone would say, "Oh, do you know someone for this person or this person?" And it sort of just started becoming this list. We know all these people. How do we get them together? And we're like, we need to start matchmaking properly. There's nothing available in Melbourne and all over Australia, really. So let's go start making our list. And that sort of really delved into the beginning of it and working together. And we started making a form, we started speed dating events, and just it's been a really slow process. And it was really hard for people to meet during COVID. So we wanted to make sure that they had the ability to meet someone because, that stinted everything as well. So it was a slow process, but basically just learning and working with people, and word of mouth came around, and now I'm a matchmaker.
Yeah, would you believe it? And it's actually crazy how sometimes we think we have our whole life planned, and then our match can come to us through means that we would never have expected. Like I know with myself, I was living in New York trying to meet someone, and then I literally just came home for a Pesach break for a month, and then my neighbour was speaking to her nephew who lived in Sydney, and she said, "I know this girl," and he said, "I know this boy," and we dated, and like within a week we got engaged. Like we just knew it was right. And I know with you, Bianca, you've had a bit of a similar story. Can you tell us about how you met your husband, Eugene?
Oh, yeah, Eugene, also known as Yevgeny. We actually met at this. I moved to Melbourne in June 2018, and I went to this Shabbos 500 dinner because everyone loves to meet someone at a Shabbos dinner. And we started talking, nothing, no chemistry, nothing. And I was like, okay, we can be friends. And then I had a birthday party, and we kept in contact, and I invited him and his friends over. We had a great night partying, and he asked me out officially the next day. So we went on a date. We went on a 6 hour coffee date,
Oh
which is
my gosh.
crazy, through Carlton. And I was like, great, this is wonderful. There's nothing wrong with him. Let's see what happens. We ended up going on a date, I think, nearly for every night for 2 weeks. And then we moved in together after 2 weeks, which is unheard of. We're very traditional people, and we just moved in together. And then a year later, we were engaged and starting our family. It was very, you know, crazy how quick it sort of went, but also that we didn't have that like initial spark, but we just went through with it and sort of saw what happened, and it ended up becoming within 2 weeks something very serious, and that was it. It was amazing. Thankful every day.
I suppose that like brings up an interesting idea that there's a lot of fallacies around dating. And one of them might be like, I don't feel that connection. Or maybe people will just have a look at a photo and be like, I don't feel the chemistry.
Yeah.
So, what do you think are some of the like blockages people put in front of them to stop themselves from opening themselves up to people?
Yeah. I think a lot of the time people can look at, say, they're looking for someone who's like perfect, but that doesn't mean they're perfect for them. You just need someone who's right, that fits like those main things that you're looking for. I think physical attraction is really important, but a picture and someone how someone looks in person is very different. So I think there's something good about a photo, but it's also limiting. But I think if there's nothing wrong with just going for a coffee, meeting someone. And then what happens is that, if there's not an initial spark, just see them, just continue seeing them, see how things grow and develop, and something can establish from that. It's not has to be love at first sight. It can be, but you have to be a bit more open minded as well and trust your matchmaker. I wouldn't suggest someone that isn't right for you, like with the basics of what you're looking for. The other things can, evolve and work out. And if there's nothing wrong on the date, there's no big red flags, just give it a go. See what happens next. See what happens until it's like this person isn't for you.
Yeah, like you have to really put yourself out there and be
Mm,
open to new experiences.
exactly.
Just to go for a coffee, to try things out, you've got to have like, a really open mindset. Um, Now, let's get back to YJP matchmaking. I know a lot of people have a perception about matchmaking. Maybe they've seen, the Netflix series of matchmaking, or they've got this, thought what their grandmother might have thought. How does YJP matchmaking work? What's your involvement? Let me know. How does the process work?
I think I'm a bit different to like very old school matchmakers a lot of the time. I don't really want your parents to tell me what they're looking for. I want you to tell me. I think what you
So many
know.
parents call us up and we're like, the person
Yeah.
themselves has to call, not the parents.
Exactly. And I tell them straight away as soon as a parent calls me, I'm like, get your child to contact me. Because then all of a sudden someone's like, oh, I want someone who has this, but their parents want not always the
Mm.
exact opposite, but they don't always understand what's best for their child. They only see what their children want them to see. So I want to work with individual. I don't always focus so much on the coaching, dating advice, what to sort of tell someone on a day to look for and anything. I want you to figure out with the person if they're right for you and if you can just sort of flow into conversation. What I do is give you the opportunity to meet someone you haven't met before. Melbourne's quite small, and I have a lot of singles coming to me, and they're like, "Oh, I know everyone in the community," which is I'm like, "Oh, really?" Now, and then we have our conversation, we go through what they're looking for, and then I suggest some names like, "Oh, I don't know them," and it's funny how like people are quite closed off. They're like, I know everyone, no one's for me, what else can you do? And then they actually just like, oh, I don't know them, okay, let's have it a go to see what it's like. So YJP matchmaking just gives people the opportunity to meet someone they haven't met before. Make sure that you fit the criteria, what you are religiously, your appropriate age, some hobbies you might have in common, things like that, and just make sure you're attracted to them and go from there. So that's what I do, and it seems to be working.
And what if tell us of some of your success stories, or you call them success, meaning
Yeah,
people that continue dating or maybe even get engaged.
yeah. So we've been doing this since sort of COVID times, on and off, as much as time I can dedicate to it. And we've done some speed dating events since then as well. We work with a lot of people who are traditional, so don't keep Shabbos, don't keep kosher, but have Friday night dinner with family. So we're not looking for people to get married in 3 months, that sort of thing. We're looking for long term. So I've had people who are dating for a couple of years even. And then from our speed dating event, we had our first one in 2023, I believe, or 2022, end of 2022. And we actually just had that couple get married. So from our first ever event, which was really, really sweet. And previous events as well, we've had a few couples telling me they're in serious relationships with their match there. So I think 70% of people get at least one match from our speed dating, and it really is just them continuing and seeing how things go. So we've had some successful relationships.
Yeah, and
That's
I
really
always
lovely.
like when people call me, like I always say to them, you've got to like put yourself out there sometimes. Like you've got to come to things. Of course, you can be set up on dates, and that's good, but just come to an event. Like even we do the YJP retreats, and we've had a few like couples, maybe like 4 couples meet through them, and like got a married, one is getting married. So sometimes you've actually got to put in a lot of the effort, not expect people to do it all for you.
Exactly, exactly. Like I said, all I do is give the people to like the opportunity to meet someone. It's really about you taking the time and getting to know someone to see if there's that spark there and just having trust, this is going to work out. I think that's a big hopeful about it as well. It works well.
So if you just going from there, if you could give people a tip, like one tip about dating, what would you say that you've seen through your years of experience, or a few tips?
Apart from trusting me,
Yeah.
that's always, I would always just say be open-minded, but at the same time be selfish because this is the person you want to end up with. This is the person you want to have kids with. So I think be open-minded to what they want. They won't fit in a box of what you exactly want. They won't tick everything on the list, but if they can tick some things, just go with the flow of it. See if it is. If there are red flags when you go on a date with them, we can give them the flick. That's fine. We can move on. But if there's nothing wrong, just go for it. If it's not, broken, don't try to fix it.
And I've seen you like over the years move from more your career path, which was
Yes.
archaeology,
And then in government as
in
well.
government, and moving towards giving to the community and volunteering and giving of yourself in this role. Why and what do you love about it? Like, why have you chosen to pursue this path?
Yeah. So I studied anthropology and archaeology, and I always thought that was where I was going to go. And then I ended up working in government, and I feel like there's always been sort of, when people say that there's something missing, and I just, as being in Melbourne, being closer with the community, going to Shams dinners, going to Chagim and events, and being that social person, it's really given me closest to my Judaism and purpose. And I thought this is something that I can volunteer my time to and do this. And then I've realized people are struggling to meet people. I struggled. I moved from here, like from Perth to Melbourne, and had trouble meeting someone. Then I did end up meeting someone, and I'm like, if that's me, who else is in the same boat? I think I'm somewhat a giving person. I want to give back to the community, but I also want to see people happy, and that's why I want to, do this and help people, and also make grandmothers very happy.
Which, like, is very inspiring for me to see that you could have chosen any career and you're like, I want to give to the community, which that for me is very touching.
What else are we here for?
Yeah,
If you're
that's
not giving
true.
to your community,
It
what
gives you
else?
purpose to your day.
Exactly.
So let's just get now tachlis. So let's say someone wants to be part of YJP Matchmaking.
Yeah.
What do they do?
There's two things that you can do. You can either go on our website, yjp.org.au. There's a whole match section in there. Or you can just, and there's also the email there. So if you email through as well, we'll send you the form of you to sign up to our database. I then schedule a call with you, get to know all about you, and I send you profiles, and voila, hopefully there's a match.
Yeah, and
That's
we
it.
also run regular speed dating, which
Correct.
is really good because in one night you can meet 12 people each for 5 minutes, and that saves you, in a way, 12 dates. And we've had a lot of success with that.
Exactly. And this time we've got wait list of over 30 people coming up for our next speed dating events. And we've upped the numbers. So instead of 12 people, we're doing nearly 15 people now because there's such a demand and people have a lot of fun. You can meet other people, socialize afterwards, but also most people get a match. So there's nothing to lose, just a soulmate to gain, really.
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
That's right. So this is exciting. We're trying to grow this and make it bigger. At the moment, we're catering for singles between what ages?
So we do about 22 to 45, but we're a little bit open-minded as well. If you fit 1 to 2 years, either way, I'm always happy to have a chat and see if we can help you out.
Yeah, and hopefully we can just keep growing, making more matches, and making everyone happy.
Yeah.
And building beautiful homes. So thanks, Bianca.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Dina.
you.